Okay. Again, if you're at a loss on what to use, then use one of the functions that we did, that we used in one of the cases. The XLS function paper should be more about me seeing print screens of what you did now that are in a Word doc, or print screens of what you did in a PowerPoint. The ideal in my mind is you upload an Excel file with text inserted that explains for me, gives me the narrative that I need, so I know that you understand how it works, why you use it, and have some references. Okay, so that's the best explanation I can give you. Don't get all hung about the other stuff. I need to go in and edit some of this, but there were some. We continue to have these questions here for we're going to use Moodle or Canvas, and so with as much stuff as I've got loaded here, just getting it all edited out is just kind of becomes a problem. Now let's talk about the second big assignment you have coming up. Now here's access cases 5 and 6. You should have uploaded those. We've done them already. And I'm going to open this up for just a sec. All right, it says see instructions. So we're going to go over to the files section, and we're going to search for spatial and we'll find the instructions for the spatial analysis exercise. I want to stop for a moment and talk about this exercise because I think and I will do this again on Thursday because this will be kind of a combination. Once I'm kind of talking about what we've got going on, I'll be here for questions. This is designed to get you familiar with some of the freeware or openware that's out there that you can use to do the spatial analysis. In this exercise, I'm going to have you take a retail establishment, a restaurant, and use various tools like Esri Tapestry, Google Maps, to get a feeling for this retail location, how it sits in relation to, say, maybe the Oklahoma City environment, data about the people who are in that zip code. And so I have a whole detailed set of instructions, and in each case, you'll know I ask you to give me a print screen that provides evidence. Let me say this. I'm kind of old school, so print screen, okay, means to me you copy the screen on the computer and then you paste it into a document or something like that. I've had people in the past who literally took a picture with their phone of the screen. Don't do that. So it's my fault. I should say screen, a screencast, screenshot. But what print screen, if I'm looking here at my Dell computer or laptop, and it's got the print screen function. I want to see that I want to see that you've done the work. Okay. And I use okay way too much. Here's another 50 cents on myself. And I'm just going to ask you to do those steps. And you're going to see that these mapping tools give us some additional insights about a location. And I'm going to have you look at demographic factors and income and things of that nature. And you look at that, and I'll say, okay, here, use Google Maps to add a layer. And I can't encourage you, especially if you're a marketing major, you need to get in tune with the fact that there are some great tools out there, and they're very important in terms of spatial analysis. We know where we have data fed from phones and all of that. So that's the intention here. Well, I'm going to close this off. I think we've talked about that fairly well. Move this little thing over. I'll close this off. I'll just go back to the modules. So those are the instructions. They're there in the files section. And I'll go down here to the week 12. And now we're going to come to the next project. After we do the spatial analysis, we've done the function paper and the spatial analysis. So those two are due on the 10th of May, and we've already done the access cases. So that brings us to finals week. And I want to just spend a little bit of time on finals week, what's going on. First of all, here's my schedule. This class meets from 2:15 to 3:50, pardon me, 11:30 to 12:45, Tuesday, Thursday. And I want to find this down here. Here it is, 12:30, 1:45, Tuesday, Thursday, which is us. Our final exam is at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday the 17th. Now, I may or may not be there physically, but I will definitely have, I'll definitely be logged into Canvas, so that if a person has a question, I can try to help them. And the reason is I also have a final at 6 o'clock that night. And so that's kind of pushing it pretty hard. Now, let's talk about strategies on this. First of all, I would not under any circumstances try to take the 2 hours and do the quizzes. The final, and I'll take us back here and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Final part 1 is due at the start of the final exam period. As I mentioned here, when you see Moodle, think Canvas. And I can tell you, sure enough, I change everything to Canvas, they'll go back to Moodle. So when you see Moodle, think Canvas. Now, the instructions for part 1 are right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a database. And then you're going to do some work with Excel. So the the final exam part 1 is due at the start of the final exam period. Now you'll notice that parts 2, 3, and 4 are due at the end of the final exam period. Those are quizzes. I think it's suicidal to try and go in there and do all 3 quizzes in those 2 hours. You say, are you saying, Dr. Harmon, if I want to, I could do these and finish them before? Absolutely. I wouldn't try to do it. Even if you've really studied, which you need to do, even though these exams are open book, open notes, you're probably going to find that if you don't handle it like a regular test where you keep some notes and this and that, it's not going to be that easy to get some of the questions. Yeah, and they're here. I'm not hiding them, so you could do work on them and submit them. Now, when you submit them, you submit them. If you decide to take the exam that morning and you're somewhere else and something happens to the technology, you're out of luck. You need to be in the OBU system. So it's probably in your best interest to try and get as much, if not all of this stuff done over in BBC Lab or on your laptop at your room, or the lab over in the library, whatever. And we do, of course, as you know, one of these assignments involves using Microsoft Access. If you don't have access on your machine or your device, you're going to need to go over to Bailey and get it. I don't know if the lab has it or not. So let's look just real quickly here. You say, well, okay, what are you going to ask us to do? All right, here's the instructions. I have a comma separated value file, a CFV file. It's located, I believe it's in Canvas in the files. I know it's also in the supplemental website. You say, what is that? We've been there many times. There's up in the welcome module, you'll see there's a link to a supplemental website, and that's a repository where I keep some files. So you're going to want to work with that file. How do we fix an app like that? Now, I have a link for you that will get you kind of familiarized with the app and its uses and all of that. Now, then I also give you, there's a PowerPoint you can look at about sentiment analysis, which is what you're going to conduct. You're going to scrape some comments about this app, and you're going to do some analysis. Now, you're going to create a database. You should know how to do that at this point. We've had 6 cases, and each time I showed you how to create one, and so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, you have that comma separated value file. How do we fix an app like that? I want you to take that file and you need to convert it to an Excel file. And that's someone calling me and pestering me. But you're going to convert it to an Excel file. So you'll have to take that file. How do we fix an app like that? Download it to your desktop or your device. Open, then save it, and then open it again and save it as a Microsoft Excel file. Now, as you probably have gathered or you've read ahead, then I'm going to ask you to take that Excel file and import it into your database. Now, once you do that, it will create a table, and you're going to have to go in and look at the fields and figure out if each of the fields is in a format that it should be. For example, page numbers. Those should be numbers. Okay, chapters. I give you the columns or the fields that you should use. And that's in the file. So you want to make sure that you've got those data converted if you need to. And then I walk you through, have you run a query and create a report for me. Various types of queries using that file. And the Access file and the Excel file are due at the start of the final exam period in Canvas, not Moodle. And so that's at the start of the final exam period. That's why, if you look over here, you're going to see that I ask you to upload your Access files due at 8 for the section. So it's due at 8 a.m. Same thing with the Excel file. I have a place for you to upload it there. Then you have the quizzes. Let's talk about those real quickly. Now, this exam is you get 2 attempts, a total of 40 minutes. The time limit is 25, 40-minute time limit is 25 items. This does not mean that you can start on it, stop, and go back. The system doesn't allow you to do that. That's a security and an anti-cheating thing that they've built into the system. Once you start, you started it. Now you have 40 minutes, so theoretically you could take you could do 2 attempts, each 20 minutes on each attempt. But once you've exhausted your attempts or the time, it's over and done. And again, it covers some concepts that we previously covered in exam 1 and 2. Now, let's look at final exam number part 3, excuse me. Part 3 is another quiz. It's 40 minutes. It has 40 items, and it covers the cases in the Solve It text. You heard me say over and over, you need to have your book open. You ought to be taking notes on what we're doing. At least have your Solve It textbook, because the cases that are in there, I have 40 items. You get 2 attempts in 40 minutes. So, and that's due at the start of the final exam period. Then final exam part 4. It's also due at the end of the final exam period, which is 10 a.m. It covers the Microsoft Access cases in the Solve It text. You get 2 attempts. It's a 40-minute time limit, and it's 30 items. So, I mean, that's pretty clear. Again, if you have technological difficulty and you're on the OBU system, that's one thing. But if you're outside the OBU system, best of luck. So you better make sure, if you decide to do it, remote, which you can, and you're not at OBU, if something happens, it's your responsibility. Otherwise, I've given you the flex time to get this to do this stuff. I would do the exams for sure, and I would work on, but they're over those 6 cases in the Solve It text. I want to talk also about something about uploads. At this time of year, I tend to get them, and here's what will happen. Someone will upload a file that's completely unrelated to the assignment. And then when they get a 0, they send me an email wondering why they have a 0. And then they say, gee, I'd like to turn it, that's the wrong file, I got mixed up. Look, if you are out of it so badly that you don't know what you're uploading, then best of luck, because I've found that sometimes people will upload stuff and then they can go get the correct answers from somebody else. I'm not saying it's happened, but it's possible. And so over time, I've learned, once you've submitted, you've submitted. And when it's due, in exam 2, part 2 last time, folks always have a hard time with the hands-on parts, because as I go through the case, they typically don't listen or take notes, or they don't go back and look over the case and to figure out what we did. So I don't do anything any differently than I would do in a ground-based class, just in terms of covering the case and saying, oh, here's how we do this, here's how we do that. And so it's hard for me to believe that, if you upload your English paper over here, I'm thinking, huh? And so be careful with that. The second thing is this: if you want to, you can submit your work in draft status. So if you say, oops, I messed up, you can go back and reload it. I'm talking about the hands-on part. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come down here to settings, and I thought I'd covered this before, but apparently not. And I'm going to take the I want to choose the I want to go into the student view. Let me find that here for just a second. Hang on here for just a second. It may be up here that I'm blocking it. All right. In the student view, when you upload, well, in either of them, if you want to, you do have the option. Oh, here it is, the student view. Didn't scroll down far enough. You have the option of uploading work in draft form. You say, what do you mean? Well, I'm going to come over here to, I'm going to come over to, let's see, I'll click on the syllabus. And let's see, these, I have, let's see, exam, final part 2. Oh, that's a quiz. Final 1 Excel file. Okay, and I'll open that up. Now, I'm going to submit my assignment. Now, you'll notice something here. I can choose a file. I can add another file. I am fine if you, the worst, here's the worst thing you can do. Submit something that's not quite your best work or that you're ready to submit and then click submit, because once you do it, it's submitted. So you can go in and choose the file. You could add another file. And this seems to be something that happens with people this time of year, especially on projects, or I'll get a lot of folks who'll send me an email, gosh, I uploaded the wrong thing. Well, that can be fixed if you haven't put it into, if you haven't submitted it. But once you've submitted it, I literally have to go back and handle an assignment like it's a late assignment, because it basically is. So use the draft form where you upload a file. You can also upload another file if you want. I don't know how many it stop, if there's a stopping point, 3, 4, 5, how many, I don't know. But if you submit it in draft form, I'm okay. But if you click a submit, that's what you've submitted for sure. Now, I'm going to leave the student view. And I think that I've gone over this ad infinitum. So it's about, let's see, 1:08. So I've been going now for about 35, 40 minutes just to keep us on track in terms of what we've got going on. And I'm going to be here till 1:45. Now, if somebody has a question, I'm happy to answer it. I won't be able to answer it or do anything because Thursday, of course, the session will be pre-recorded. I'm going to try tomorrow to set some kind of heavy-duty office hours so people have questions. I can help them. Does anybody have any questions I could try to help you with? Anybody? Check to see if I mute. Oops, I muted everybody, so I'm going to unmute all of you. Does anybody have a question? Okay, I want to make sure you're unmuted. You are, and you are. Does anybody have a question? Weird. Unmute all. There you go. Well, you should be on all. Okay, say unmuted. Anybody have a question? Okay, folks. Well, if you don't, I'm going to be here. I'll be here in the classroom for for the till let's see, another 35 minutes, and I'm not sure what time I'll get over there on Thursday because of this stupid appointment. And again, if I might get over there by 4:30 or 5, whatever. The class is at 6 o'clock. So if I'm in there, stop by. If not, then shoot me an email. If not that, then Monday I'll be there all day, and I hope and pray that next Thursday is a normal day. I got caught completely by surprise by this appointment today. So appointment for tomorrow, and so I've got to go, and I need to be there. Like I said, I don't know how long it'll take. So again, and I probably, because of this, I'm certain I'll post some fairly heavy duty office hours or office hours for virtual office hours, or of course I always try to answer emails. So I'm going to be here, and if somebody has a question, please fire it to me, and I'll try to answer it. Okay, it looks like everybody took off on me. So I'll be here if people have questions. Okay, I'm still here. It's 1:31. And about 15 minutes from now, I'll wrap up this session. I covered the final exam, the big projects. I gave you guys some additional insights, as well as we showed you and went over the instructions there for doing those. And so you're pretty much done. Now, again, I've posted an announcement here about Thursday. I had a medical appointment that popped up on me. I have to go to it. So I'm kind of, it's the same when some of you tell me I'm out of town for a track meet or I can't make a meeting because I've got practice, etc. We're all busy people, so I try to navigate this the best I can. What I am going to do is I'll post this, and then I will post a pre-recorded session where I'll go over these big projects and things that are due, and I'll post it there for you to see. And then hopefully we'll be back to a normal schedule for next week, which I thought we would be this week. Nonetheless, you're not going to miss anything, and you certainly can email me, contact me, etc. As far as Thursday goes, as I mentioned, I'm going to be, as it goes. I don't know what time I'll be out of that meeting. So as I've told the students in the Thursday night class, I'll get there when I can. And that's the best that I can do. And then, if they don't, they can wait till 6:15. And if I don't show up, I'll go ahead and do the screencast, excuse me. And then, they can look at it. So we have these things come up all the time. The nice thing is with this system, I can record sessions, pre-record them for you so you don't miss anything. Your assignments are all there. You know what's due and when it's due. So we're pretty fortunate to have this system to work with. Still here and waiting another 10 minutes, and then I'll close the session off. And I don't, I hope that's not the case with anybody, but we didn't get turned in. If we had done it, oh, we've been on the weekend or something like that. Okay. I'm probably in a whole different attitude, but I'm having trouble. Okay, we got about 4 minutes or 5 minutes left. It's 1:41 p.m. and that will end this session. Again, my apologies about Thursday, but I really don't have any choice. But thankfully, we have this nice format we can use, which is a good thing.
When I have 300 or 400 people who are in the same boat.
Okay, I'm still here. As I said, I'll do a pre-recorded session on Thursday. I've explained to everybody the scheduling snafu that I've run into, so I can't do much more about it than that. Okay, it's 1:45. That does it. And I will wrap this up, record it, and post it.